Hi, it's Lou Collins. Today I've got another template for you that's free for you to download on Craftworld. So today we're looking at a gift box, and this is really good fun. You could actually make it into a small gift tag or a small greeting card. Otherwise, if you don't want to make the box version, using these embellishment pieces. But I'm going to do the whole box today, and it's using 3 sheets of template. You do need to print off all 3 to get everything together. If you don't want to put the pocket watch design on, and you just want a nice, neat circular box, you can cut out just these 2 pieces, so the jagged edges and the circles. Now so far I've cut 1 of each, but you do need to cut 2 of each. So these have come from Papercraft Essentials originally. It's issue 214. You may already have that at home somewhere in your stash. If not, you can search that up on Craftworld and download the templates. You can also see a beautiful example of this that's been made before. So let's get started creating the base and the lid first. So as I say, I'm going to start with the base and the lid, and you do need 2 of each. Now the circles are simple, they'll just stay as circles. These ones do need to have score lines put in them though. So let's just grab my scoreboard, which is going to be a bit noisy. There we go. And pop this onto the scoreboard. So very simple, just a couple of lines to do. Your scoring tool there needs to be able to go through both the cardstock and the paper template that's on the top, but as you'll notice with mine, I actually removed the template to do the second version, so hopefully you'll be able to work out how to score that without the template. If you can't, just pop your template back on, but it's fairly simple. So the tab shape at the end here just needs to be done just like so, and then the strip down here, so at the point of each of those triangles, and you'll need to do that for the lid as well. So starting with the base, I'm going to remove my template, and because I used repositionable glue on this, I can then re-tack that to another one if I want to make another one of these. Let's just loosen up the fibres on the score line of the tab there, and then bring in all of your triangles. Should be fairly simple. They're quite sharp actually because it's a nice strong cardstock. I'd say use the strongest cardstock you are able to for this. And I'm just going to start bending this. It's going to want to curve round, so just start bending it gently so you don't get any creases in it when you do start working with it. So do this to the other one as well. Now you can choose whether you're going to use a double-sided tape, a wet glue. A hot glue is okay, but you get a little bit of dimension in there, which you don't always need with hot glue, although you do get a fast grab, or something like red liner tape. So choose your preference now. There really isn't a right or wrong. Now you're going to want to take just 1 of the circles and make sure you're working with everything for the base, and then keep everything for the lid to the side, because the circles do differ in size ever so slightly. So just ensure that they are the correct ones that you're using. I'm going to apply some glue just around the edge here, just say about 1/3, and I'm going to place the teeth onto that circle, working my way round and just pressing down. Now because this is a craft cardstock, it's ever such an absorbent cardstock. That just means the glue takes a little bit longer to tack, to hold. So I'm just going round, keeping my eye on the outside as well, making sure that that's where it should be. Now when you're happy that those teeth have secured and glued down, you can add a little bit more glue and work your way round again. Just make sure you're lifting the teeth up and putting them on top of the circle. There we go. And you want to ensure that you're not going any larger than that circle, because the sizing has been worked out so that the lid will fit over the top. If you make this larger at all, it could be that your lid won't fit over. So just ensuring that the edge lines up with the edge of that circle there as neatly as you can. So want to have the teeth down, want to have the tab goes on the straight side. You'll notice you've got a tab this end as well. So the first thing to do is glue the tab together, this end. Attach that on there, so lining up the end of your last tabbed piece, your side piece, with the score line on the second. Hold that for a few moments until you're sure that's secure. Bring those teeth up. I call them teeth, I don't know why, they just remind me of sort of dinosaur teeth on a children's paper craft project. Just do a small amount of glue there and just carry on working round, securing as you go, pressing down and making sure that's stuck before you move on to the next stage. Now of course I'm going to keep doing this, and then when I get to this tab on the end I'm going to put some more glue along here and glue those together also. Now when you feel that that's all glued down nice and secure, just be wary, like I say, this tab might take a little bit longer because it's craft cardstock, so I'm just pinching that. What we can do now is we can put some glue all the way around the inside edge on the base in here, all the way over those teeth. And we can take our second circle and push this inside, and that's just going to hide all of those teeth, all those workings, and create a really nice neat finished base for us. Now you may find that you've got a little bit of a crease, a bend rather than a curve where your folds are here, where your joins are, but that's fine. That will gradually, as you work with this and put the lid on, that will gradually sort of mould and sculpt into a nice perfect circle. Now what I'm going to do is pop this one aside and allow that to fully dry, and I'm going to do exactly the same with the lid pieces. Now the lid circles are ever so slightly larger, and of course the lid side pieces are slightly slimmer. This time I've decided to glue the tabs together first, the strips together first, allow those to dry, and then I can just fluidly join to the base all in one piece rather than worrying about having to join it whilst in situ. So ensure that centre piece, the centre join between the two strips, is fully dry before you continue to start creating your curve. Something else I did slightly differently on this one is I started gluing from the centre of the strip rather than the end. This was just to help secure that join a little bit further. Now with the lid you can afford to go ever so slightly larger than the circle, not a lot because you want a nice neat finish, but if you want to you can go slightly larger, just overhanging your strip outside of the circle a tiny piece if you want to, or if you do it by accident it's something not to worry about. Once again, once you've glued all your teeth in and they're level and aligned with your circle, you can apply glue all over the top of those teeth inside, all over this base, or it's rather the inside of the lid. And then apply the second circle inside just to make everything nice and neatly hidden, all your workings hidden. It makes a really perfect lid there for you. A very professional finish. Now what you'll want to do is pop your two pieces together, and hopefully you'll have a lid that is ever so slightly larger than the base, so they'll fit over absolutely perfectly. Now you can go ahead and you can do some covering with papers and things like this if you want to. Before you even get to this stage you could do stamping and such onto the actual pieces. Probably a good idea to do a dry run of putting one of these together first, so you don't spend all that time covering and decorating before you know what you're doing with putting together. So now we need to decorate the lid. And I've got these pieces that I cut from the template. So this is from the third page of the template, which is this one here. I haven't gone with the base here because I've used a mirror card, which is fairly sturdy anyway, but you can use this base and then this piece where you'll need to cut out the inside. I actually recommend a really good sharp craft knife for this, for the inside of the numerals here as well, the inside of here, and if you want to you can use a circle die if you've got the right shape, but otherwise a craft knife for the inside of this too. Craft Stash have a fantastic set, a really nice sharp craft knife with extra blades available as well, which I highly recommend. So what I did is I cut this part from, let's just see if I can get the template off there, from black cardstock. That's going to sit on there, because then I thought actually you've got the craft coming through, so that's really nice. Then I cut this section, so this is the outline of the pocket watch, from a nice gold mirror card, and this is really going to contrast nicely against that black there. Look at that, lovely. And lastly, I then also cut the hands out of gold too, so again using the template I just glued them over, so these can go wherever you want. It may be that you want to put a certain time on there, maybe the time someone was born, maybe it's like 5 p.m, 5:30 if someone's retiring, whatever it may be, but you can personalise that. So that's kind of how that will go. So I'm going to glue these down, and I'm going to glue them on flat because this is a gift box and it could of course end up getting moved around and handled quite a lot. So lots of wet glue on here to hold it flush and nice and secure. Glue between the numerals there, and just make sure that is central on the box lid. At this stage you don't need to really worry too much unless you have a certain part of the box that you'd like to be the top or the bottom. Just move that, just keep an eye, make sure that looks like it's central. Then glue all the way around the outside of the gold pocket watch. Don't need a lot of glue, but like I say, craft does seem to absorb glue quite well. Now I've not gone on to the top of the watch here because we don't really need it there, and you'll notice that fits on there. Again, pop that on, wipe away any excess. Try not to wipe it onto the mirror card because glue on mirror card is really quite difficult to remove. So if you've got any excess, take a pokey tool or your craft knife and just wipe it away like that, rather than taking a wet wipe to it. You want to, like I say, avoid getting the glue onto the mirror card. There we go, nice and neat. And then lastly, I'm actually going to find my tweezers for this part, but I want to put the handles on with just a little bit of glue, but my hands are a bit sticky from putting the box together and such, so decide whereabouts you're going to have them. So in fact, actually I'm just going to lift this up gently and move this slightly, because what I'm not happy with is I didn't think to put it so that the 12, there was a 12 at the top. Schoolboy error. So let's just lift this up. Now I've got a line of glue, as you can see around here. I'm just going to add a little more glue to that circle. Now I can see where it's going anyway, and make sure that that's put down with the top of the watch in a line with one of the numbers, so that I've got my the 12 as such where it should be. And again, I'm just going to clean up the excess glue here. There, and then let's put this just before the 12, just there, and then using my tweezers, a tiny little bit of glue. I don't know, let's go for the almost at 5. It doesn't matter what time. And if you want to finish this off nicely, obviously there's lots more you can do in the name of a tag or some decorative papers around the edge. but I will probably just go with a small gem or pearl just in the centre there over those hands. All of this white glue here, this will all dry clear anyway, but you can neaten that up if you want to right now. Allow everything to dry, give it a good amount of time to dry. You might want to put some decorative papers inside here as well. There's a lot you can do with this, but this is a really lovely base for you to start with, using these templates from Papercraft Essentials issue 214. Of course, downloadable at Craft World, and we'd love to see what you make with this particular template over in the inspiration gallery.